The Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG is one of the most expensive card games to play, but with websites like Nikijo Collectibles, Cherry Collectibles, and Australian Yu-Gi-Oh! Auctions, most of the cards you need are only one mouse click away. But what would happen if these sites just disappeared and we were left to source our cards only from sealed product? Rather than relying on these sites, we'd be relying on nothing more than the luck to pull the cards we need to complete our already bullshit expensive Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks. Over the coming weeks and months, starting with nothing more than 3 structure decks and a budget of $60 a week, I am going to build a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck with the goal of reaching the Oceanic World Championship qualifying event. Stick around to see me waste hundreds of dollars, open a ton of sealed product, and hopefully kick a few butts along the way. This is Sealed Only Yu-Gi-Oh! The Shaddoll Showdown. Here we are with the second opening for our Sealed Only Shaddolls. What we are looking for today comes out of Duel Overload, and I have a fresh pack here ready to be opened. As you can see, we paid $58 for this. I'm sure you can see that right there, $58. That means I have a $2 budget to carry over into another episode. I will be keeping tabs of that and letting you know how we're going for that budget. But what we're looking for out of this set is, of course, the Predaplant, Verte, Anaconda. It's going to really be able to help us get into our fusion spells a lot faster. We play Naelshaddoll Fusion, we play Shaddoll Fusion, we play Super Polymerization and Naelshaddoll Fusion. It's going to be able to send all of those except Naelshaddoll to the graveyard, and it's going to get us a fusion summon off of Verte Anaconda for the cost of only 2,000 life points. What a great card. We're going to crack into that. We're also going to be hunting down some infinite impermanences. That is going to really help the deck out. It'll add another couple of traps to the deck, but give us that monster negate and that interruption that we need in the deck to actually stay competitive if we do happen to be going second. We would also like to pick up maybe some Phantasmes or even a Crystron Halka Fibrax. Maybe that'll come in handy down the track as well. But for right now, our number one priority is of course going to be Verte Anaconda. So I'm not going to wait any longer. We are going to crack into this. I'm going to destroy that box a little bit. We are going to go in deep. Don't forget that every one of these comes with a giant card. It is Blue Eyes White Dragon, as you can see there. That is unreal. I think I have a few different ones of those now, so that's pretty good. We're slowly going through the collection. Each Duel Overload box that we open up is going to have 6 different packs in it. 6 different packs, 5 cards per pack. All of them are going to be ultra rare. Fingers crossed that we can pull something good out of these. Now, I do know that the European print, all of the good cards are at the front, so I am going to place that card at the back so it's not going to spoil what we get out of these packs. So we'll start with pack number 1. We'll take the back card or front card, put it at the back, and let's see how we go. So we're starting off with a Daigusto Emerald. Not a bad start. We may need some rank 4s to start recycling some of our cards and give us a draw, but we'll see how we go. Malefic Selector, not going to be too useful for the deck. Card of Fate, pretty busted, but definitely not what we're looking for. Cyframe Lord Omega, that's not too bad. We may be able to go into a level 8 eventually, but I'm not too sure if we can use that straight away. And we have a Tenyi Spirit Sahara. So no Predaplant yet. Pack number 2, we've got the Tenyi Spirit monster on the front. We're going to pull it to the back. Let's see how we go. Reptilian Echidna. Deck Lockdown. I really like this card. It could be a potential side deck card later on. A Saravis. If we want to start playing hand traps and a light target as well, this could be one of those that we can play. Hollow Giants. Not awful, probably not the greatest. We'll probably get some Megatins to try and pull Dark Ruler No Mores instead. And Madolche, Magellan. Okay, that is 2 packs down. We have 4 packs to go. Let's open up the 5-headed dragon pack now. Alright, Witchcraft of Madame Verte. Good reprint, but not helpful for us at all. Last Warrior from Another Planet. Pretty good if we did have a copy of Waking the Dragon. We have Bloom Harmonious, the Melodious Composer, Malefic Tune, and Cyber Emergency. Geez, we're banging on some really good reprints here. We got the Magellan, and we got the Witchcrafters, and the Cyber Emergency, but still no. Well, Cyber Emergency is going to lead us into the Cyber Dragon Infinities. Let's see, we'll put it to the back. So Magical Musketeer Starfire, another good reprint. Chaos Goddess, another level 8 Synchro. I actually don't mind this one too much. Firebrand Hymnist, Salaman Great Almirage, and Bajinki Ahashima. Almirage, not too bad there. We could probably, we probably don't do a lot of normal summoning, so it's more of a flip summon, but I'll see how we go. I guess it's a good way to get our Armageddon Knight or something off the field, but we can see how we go. We might be able to make room for that later on. Place a good card at the back. We have a Speedroid Hexasaucer, another Daigusto Emerald, Magical Musketeer Starfire, another Omega, and a Sky Striker Ace Zeke as our final card. We can't play that one either. Okay, so we are not doing too well out of our pack opening today. I can't see too many changes coming in from the deck. Hopefully you didn't see that. I will pop it to the back anyway. Well, we have a Terraforming in our last pack. We have another Firebrand Hymnist. We have a Synchro Transcend. We have a Raid Raptor Y-Strix. And we have an Ancient Gear Ballista. We can't play that one either. So, to try and pick up the Predaplant, we have missed out there. There isn't a lot we can actually play in the deck. Let's have another quick look through. We may be able to... play a Daigusto Emerald for a little bit of recycling. We could find space for Almirage if we needed to. We have no way to get the Last Warrior on the field. Deck Lockdown might be an option for the side deck. Cerebus is a good option for a hand trap to stop targeting effects. Hollow Giants, I don't really like it. We have another Emerald there as well. And we could potentially run an Omega. I think there is maybe a way to make it if one of the fusion monsters is actually a level 6, because we do play a couple of tuners in the deck. That's the opening. Let's go and put a deck together and I'll show you what changes we need to make.
2 hours later.
Hey, we're back with the deck profile and we've made a couple of changes. As you would have seen, the pulls that we got from our Duel Overload were pretty shitty, so we couldn't make changes that were going to impact the deck too much. A few consistency changes here and there will hopefully give us a bit more of an edge, but I'll take you through the deck now so you can see what the difference is. Don't forget to check out the last deck profile. It's typed out in the description. This one will be as well, so you can see the changes for yourself. Starting off with the main deck, still running our 3 Reeshaddoll Wendi. Too good to not run a 3. Real superstar in the first episode. Just like Shaddoll Squamata. This is any Shaddoll card you want it to be. Double Ariel still has not changed. I'll be leaving it there. Shaddoll Beast for draw. Shaddoll Dragon for back row removal. All of those ratios are quite good. I did think that maybe I could probably afford to drop Shaddoll Dragon and Beast down to 1. But I'd probably have to find a way to be able to actually recycle those a little bit better. 2 Hedgehog and 1 Hound. decided to try Hound this week. It will give me a little bit of recurrence from the graveyard. I get to add it back to my hand and reuse some of the resources that are in the graveyard already. Single Falco still, as well as a single Qadshaddoll Keios, mainly again for the light target. I've decided to up the count of Performage Trick Clown to 2 instead of 1. I do feel like I need to see more light targets to be able to utilize Shaddoll Fusion and actually get Construct on the field a lot more. 2 Mathematician. I did cut the 1 copy of Armageddon Knight, just didn't think it was necessary. Blackluster Soldier, Envoy at the beginning. We do need some sort of boss monster. Once he's on the field, he's an absolute beast and bullshit card to get around. So I'm definitely putting him in the deck still. And we have one change to the deck, the Cerebus, the Ancient, and Ascended. This will actually negate a little bit of targeting to protect some of our cards a little bit more. Onto the spells, we are running the 3 Naelshaddoll Fusion. Excellent card, really great to extend plays, finish with a few of the fusion monsters, especially in Master Rule 5 when we're not relying too heavily on that extra deck zone and those link monster arrows. 3 Shaddoll Fusion, just like always, getting those cards out of the deck and into the graveyard. 3 Super Poly, using our opponent's monsters is almost better than killing over them. And of course, Allure of Darkness for some draw power. Cut it down to 2. I saw it way too much last week without having a dark monster in my hand, and yeah, I don't want that to happen, so 2 is a pretty good point for that. The single Foolish Burial to get that Squamata or any of those cards we need in the graveyard. Onto the traps, we're going to run Reeshaddoll Incarnation at 3. This card is an absolute beast. When you see it, or you can get it into the graveyard, it is a total blowout. I love this card. And one change, I felt like we needed a little bit of defense if we do have to go first. So I decided to run a couple of copies of Lost Wind in the main deck rather than in the extra deck. I thought 2 might be enough for now. I didn't want to take out too much of the engine cards. So I thought 2 copies of Lost Wind with the 3 Reeshaddoll to put our trap count up to, of course, 5. I will be pushing for Impermanences eventually, but Lost Winds will do for now. So we're still running 40 in the main deck. It's a good number. A few test hands have shown that it can be quite consistent. So let's have a look at the extra deck. We'll never probably run any less than 3 Naelshaddoll Construct. She's a boss monster of the deck. She is absolute beast. Gets rid of those special summon monsters easily. Gets more fuel into the graveyard as well. Just a great card all around. Winder, great to finish on. Finish your turn, do all your attacking, and then special out that Winder to stop your opponent special summoning more than once. Pretty good. App Cologne, I do want to cut her down to 2, but I really have nothing else to put her in. This will be the first thing that comes out when I do finally get my hands on a copy of Verte Anaconda. Running Double Check, good card. Didn't see it too much last week, didn't really need to though, but hopefully the utility behind that card will come out soon. Annoyatilis, again, didn't really need it, but it's great to have there, especially with Super Poly. Same as Naelshaddoll Grista and Naelshaddoll Wendigo. Grista's a great card to negate a special summon. Wendigo is a pretty shit card, but can get some of those monsters off the field, say Appaloosa if necessary. We are running a Cyframe Lord Omega. We can make this with our App Cologne. If you see, she is level 6, and our Falco, it might come up. I do like Omega. It can recycle some of our banished stuff. It can also, it's a 2800 beat stick, and it can also rip a card out of the opponent's hand. So I just thought, why not give it a go while we can. Shaddoll Construct from 3, of course, down to 1. This is probably where she needs to be, if I even want to keep running her at all. But I do know how tough it can be to get fusion spells to your hand. So if there is a chance to get 2 flip monsters on the board, I can get those off the field into this and then use this as a material or a fusion spell card. And then the 1 copy of Salamangreat Almirage, basically a little bit of protection. It's a great target for Grista and can help get some of those normal summon Shaddoll cards into the graveyard straight away. There are a couple of targets in the main deck, so I would like to utilize Almirage's effect for that. The side deck, we still stuck with the 3 Lava Golem. We didn't get much opportunity to change things up too much. I do need to really put my ideas together about how I want to see this deck progress in the future and where I want to go in regards to a side deck to make sure we're getting the best cards for that. A Shaddoll Dragon just for that extra back row removal, along with triple twin twisters as well. This deck does die quickly to Pendulum, so getting those scales off the board is important. I want to try a copy of Deck Lockdown. It'll stop the searching of other decks that rely on it more than I do. I have a couple of searches, that is right, but not enough that it's going to actually hinder me too much if I happen to have Deck Lockdown face up. I did pull a copy of Hollow Giants out of Duel Overload, so I will be trying that out just to see how it goes. I'm not holding much hope for the card, but I want to give it a go, and then I'll decide whether or not it's a stayer or not. But right now we've got a few cards to play around with, and until we actually find some good proper utility cards, I wouldn't mind giving this one a go. Triple copies of Unending Nightmare, again for that back row removal. We really need to streamline the fact that that Pendulum deck can kill us really easily, so getting those scales off the board is important. Necro Fusion, so we can fusion someone from the graveyard. Shaddoll Core, just in case we need a bit of defense, and it'll help us recur those spell cards if we do happen to get into that situation. And of course the final copy of Lost Wind. Why only play 2 when we've got a card this good at 3? That is the deck profile. Don't forget, like I said earlier, this week's matches will be online. Don't forget to comment down below what your dueling book or your Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro handle is. Let me know if you want to be one of the people I go up against in the next episode of Sealed Only Shaddolls. And of course, I will see you on the other side of the duels for the weekly recap.
Many hours later.
White Dragon. Quite a powerful deck, but I was pretty certain that the Shaddoll deck would be able to take it down. The first turn window is always going to help, and getting that Beast on the field as well as the Falco to give us a little bit of resourcing later on would help immensely as well. He made a bit of an error there trying to destroy the window with his alternate and not being able to attack over at that turn. That gave me a little bit of a leeway in the following turn to really capitalize on the opponent's misplay. Qadshaddoll Construct to the field, started returning monsters to hand, doing a little bit of damage here, and really putting my foot down in terms of that advantage on the board. Goes back into Alternate Dragon, doesn't make the same mistake twice, kills over the window, but I do get the Shaddoll Fusion card back to hand. Won't need it though, summons it away and uses Super Poly to once again really help take that game. There's already game on board, killing that and finishing that, moving into game 2. Pretty good hand here, Naelshaddoll Fusion, but just with a set 2 cards and pass. He really started with that Bingo Machine go quite well, and that Alternate Ice Dragon really came into his hand quite often, which was pretty handy. Shaddoll Construct is on the field, destroyed by Bigfoot, even though we sniped it out of the deck, or out of his hand, sorry, and we were able to recur a couple of resources there, putting a Hedgehog on the field, which would give us a Shaddoll Fusion for next turn as well. Finishes with 2 monsters on the field, and I'm feeling pretty good about this situation here. Azure Eyes Silver Dragon is quite a good card. It doesn't really see much play in the Blue Eyes deck, but it was pretty tough to get over. Then get rid of the Spirit Dragon, but he got to summon a Blue Eyes. We're waiting 1 turn. We still have the protection of Naelshaddoll Construct there to help us out. So we chained the Reeshaddoll Incarnation to bring back another copy of Construct from the graveyard, giving us a board full of monsters for when we do get a chance to go off in the following turn. Not sure why he summoned the Tachyonized Galaxy Dragon, but we were ready to go here. He knew that as well. We sing, and that was game. He knew it was over. Let's go into round 2, where we came up against Sky Strikers. This guy has hand traps for days. Really, really was a pain in the ass to get around. Kagari back at 3 really made this guy's life so much easier. He ends and it's over to me. Stopping that Shaddoll fusion was really hard, and then Veiling my Wendi was a pain as well. But I did get to use Super Poly instead of Naelshaddoll, so I could still use Wendy's effect. But then to try and recoup any resources, all he had to do was use Calls by the Grave on my Trick Clown, and it really took care of another one. So we were sitting okay at this stage here. Uses the new card from Duel Overload, Zeke, to banish my Naelshaddoll, and he has some resources on board ready to go. Widow anchors my beast so I don't get the draws. I get the 2 cards back on the field, and I get Mystic Mind. I thought Konami would have taken care of Mystic Mind on the ban list, but obviously not. It is still around, and it is still causing as much havoc in the meta as it was prior to the April 1st ban list. Nothing can be done. We just skip through a few turns here, and we simply just have to wait it out. He decides to go into his area 0 to clear Mystic Mind from the board. Luckily gets what he needs from that area 0, and he starts going absolutely nuts. Takes 2 of my monsters, specials array into Kagari, gets back Needle Fibers there, so many good cards, and he has a board full of cards. I have nothing, and I'm just waiting for him to enter his battle phase and attack for game. Let's have a look at game 2 now. So I started okay here, again with the Ash on the Shaddoll fusion. Left me in a really shitty spot there, but I did get the Twin Twisters set. He sets a Mystic Mind to my side of the field. I do have to kill that multi-roll. Probably should not have killed that area 0. That got him another card from his deck, which really left me behind a little bit. Into Shizuku, end phase effect to add him the afterburners. Again with the Ash, that card is bullshit. All I wanted to do was put a card in the graveyard. I had no option there but to activate mine going into the end phase, so I would last a little bit, but afterburners took care of that quite easily. Normal summon into Squamata, attack for some damage, set 1, and then passing turn. Area 0 tries again. I got lucky here, he didn't get any Sky Striker cards, so all he could do was activate the multi-roll and pass turn. Entering the battle phase after normal summoning Wendi. Graveyard effects here, using Winder to try and slow down his special summoning. There is now a dragon on the field to be able to put some cards back to hand where needed. Lost my hand with that bad call on Allure of Darkness, but I thought I was sitting in a decent situation here. All he needed though was to grab that Widow Anchor, set that Widow Anchor to his side of the field, use the Widow Anchor. I get my monster back in the following turn, but all he needed was one more opportunity to use Area 0, grabbed as a ray, and basically that was it. Attacked me with my own Winder for game. No, not quite. I do get another turn here. So I have the Shaddoll fusion. I go into the App Cologne, try and use the effect, but that is met with a Veiler. So I got his life points all the way down to 400. I'm ready to hopefully get one more turn. He attacks for 1500. Made a huge misplay trying to grab Shaddoll Fusion from the deck, forgetting that I had to discard what I added off of Ab Cologne. He veiled my beast, so I did not get to draw, so all he needed to do was clear that beast and the game would be his. He top decked the Avarice for turn, recycled some cards, did some drawing, and was pretty much able to end the show right there. Sky Striker's still doing stuff in today's meta. But into the final round, we were up against Pendulums. This was such a fun game to play. Let's just have a look to see how this first game went out. If you can hear all those sounds in the background, that is him adding and removing spell counters. There was quite a lot done there. He's taken 3000 damage, and by this time I totally lost track of what he was trying to do and where his end board was going to lie. All I was doing was hoping to maybe get another turn. I did realise in this match that Selene is such a powerful card for the Pendulum deck, and he is still going. When Endymion hits the board, both of my cards are gone, negated by Jackal King, and simply attacks for game. So I did a little bit of siding here, and I knew that I needed to try and clear those pendulum scales. So we put some back row removal in for game number 2. I wanted to go first, and let's see how this one panned out. At least got to go my first turn off. There were no negates there. I did get to set a Twin Twister to the spell and trap zone, so I knew that I would have a little bit of protection. Cleared it out, and I think that hurt him quite a little bit because he was not able to do too much for the rest of the turn. So he special summons the Magician's Souls. Still a super powerful card. And into Crowley, searches for his blue boy, and the special summon, the pendulum summon there, bringing out Selene, finishing on 3 monsters, negating the effect, but this was able to give me a copy of Naelshaddoll Fusion. He finishes with another copy of Selene, bringing back Magician's Souls, netting him another draw, but his board wasn't that strong at the end of it. I had a Shaddoll Fusion there so I could have fusion materials from my deck, and here is where I just basically took control of the game. I was able to get a dragon into the graveyard to destroy his pendulum. Got to get rid of that servant, otherwise Master Endymion will come out on the field. I made a misplay there by flipping up Dragon after I used Dragon's Graveyard effect, but once I had Winder on the board, I knew I was sitting in a fairly decent situation. I wasn't aware of the full effect of Selene though, that I couldn't actually target her for a battle, so I had to do something else to get rid of her later on. He took care of my Winder. I was able to special summon one of my banished monsters and add one of each spell back to my hand again. He did a lot of adding and searching in that main phase too, but it still didn't actually get him that far. Lucky enough, dropped into the Super Poly, which was able to get Selene off the board, and eventually I was able to take the game. There we go, Selene's gone, and BLS hits the field, and we took that game. Game 3, here we go. We'll swap sides there. He opened okay, but I do think he did have better options. As you can see, he does have the field spell in his hand, and I was okay because Shaddolls are spellcasters anyway. He knew straight away once I was able to get construct on the field. That's 3 rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh! Finished. Very strange playing online rather than face to face. I do feel like you get to know a deck a lot better when you actually have to handle and read the cards. As for the Shaddoll deck, I think it performed okay. We did go 2-1 out of the 3 rounds, and the one loss was to Sky Striker. So I'm quite happy with how the deck performed overall, but there are still quite some significant issues that need to be addressed in future weeks. I do feel like that I need to find a way to get to my light targets a lot faster. Can't be relying on Shaddoll Fusion summoning from deck. So in the future I will be looking for some Clash of Rebellions to try and pick up some common Performage damage jugglers, and maybe even some hat trickers to get that extra level 4 on board. The monster count I think is probably a little bit too high currently. I seem to be opening with way too many monsters in my opening hand. I would like some more spell cards, so maybe increasing the Allure of Darkness count back to 3, and then dropping maybe a copy of Shaddoll Beast down, maybe even Shaddoll Dragon, and then relying on the extra side deck, for the back row removal that I've been relying on so far. In terms of the extra deck, we still need that Verte Anaconda. Being able to basically send that spell to graveyard to use that fusion straight away is going to be so handy. I really think that that's going to make the deck a lot more powerful than it is. Also, some interruptions. We did run the copy of Saravis, and I will try and get some more copies of that, but some hand traps. So maybe considering some Dual Devastator in the future to secure some hand traps as well. But next week, I'm pretty sure I will be going back to Duel Overload to try and secure that copy of Anaconda. Hopefully you'll stick around with me and see what I open up in the next episode. But before I do go, I just wanted to say thanks to everyone who has stuck around this long. Another long video. I am doing my best to try and edit them down to be as short as possible. If you have any suggestions about how I can do that, do you want to see shorter duels, do you want to see shorter deck profiles, let me know in the comments about how I can make this experience better for you, because without you watching, there's really no point of me making these videos. So thank you for tuning in. I do want to see you next week. Don't forget to hit like, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and of course share the video if you think someone you know might actually want to tune in and watch some similar content.